Resonance. Definition of resonance is two or more Lewis structures for a single molecule that cannot be represented accurately by only one, occur due to movement of double and triple bond. So due to delocalization of pi bond. We will look this one later on. So there are some molecule would have several Lewis structures. It cannot be represented accurately by one. So the several molecule, we call it as resonance structure. Okay. So if we look at ozone, so basically there are two Lewis structures for ozone. So structure A and structure B. So both structure exist equally. Why? Because they are similar in terms of distribution of formal charge. So on structure A, we have oxygen with zero formal charge. Same goes to structure B. So on structure A, we have oxygen with formal charge positive 1. Same goes to B. And then on structure A, we have oxygen with negative 1. Same goes to B. So A and B are two different structures. Both exist, and then the amount of A and B exists equally. Okay. Same goes to carbonate ion. Okay, so there are three resonance structure. So in between this resonance structure, we use this arrow to show that the structure in A could become B, could become C, and then turn back to A, turn back to C. So that's why we use this arrow, like forward and backward arrow. Okay, sebab structure tu dia boleh jadi A, pindah balik jadi B, pindah balik jadi A, nak pergi jadi C boleh, pindah balik jadi B. So dia boleh berubah-ubah. Okay, so in terms of formal charges, here are also the same. So all the carbon have zero formal charge. And then for structure A, we have two oxygen with formal charge negative 1. Same goes to B, same goes to C. So A, B, C exist equally. So if I have 100% sample, so A exists 33.33%, B exists 33.33%, C exists 33.33%. So there is no dominant structure. Okay. However, there are some resonance structure. It has the most plausible structure. Plausible same meaning with possible. Okay, maksudnya adalah ada satu structure tu dia dominant. Wujud banyak sikit. Okay. So how to choose which one is the most plausible structure? We look at this priority. So the first one, we want to look at all elements in the molecule or compound have zero formal charge. Okay, number 2, formal charges should be as small as possible. And then the last priority is negative formal charges on the most electronegative atom. So we look at the first example. So here we have carbon dioxide. So I can draw carbon dioxide like this. So carbon as central atom, and this carbon has two double bond. And then structure B, carbon the central atom, and this carbon has single bond with oxygen and triple bond with another oxygen. And for carbon C, central atom carbon have triple bond with oxygen on left hand side, and central carbon have single bond with oxygen on the right hand side. Okay, so if I calculate, in order to determine which structure is the most plausible structure, I need to calculate formal charges. Okay, so I already calculated formal charges. So the most plausible structure is the one with zero formal charges for all the atoms in the molecule. So all atoms in A, carbon and these two oxygen atoms have zero formal charges. So A is the most plausible. B and C, okay, B and C both have zero formal charges. Okay, B dengan C ni masih ada zero formal charges sebagai molekul. Tapi atom dalam B ni ada negative 1 dengan positive 1. Totalnya zero. Total masih zero. Okay, C pun sama. So tak semua atom tu ada zero formal charge. Okay, tapi total masih zero lah. Okay, so A is the most plausible structure because all atoms in A or all atoms in molecule A have zero formal charges. So, kita kena mention semua atom dalam molekul A ada zero formal charges. Kita tak boleh cakap B ataupun kita tak boleh sebut A has zero formal charges. Salah. Kalau ayat dia A has zero formal charges, ni memang salah. Kenapa salah? Sebab B dan C pun ada zero formal charges. Yang berbeza adalah all atom in A has zero formal charges. Okay, we look at another example. Okay, COF2. So, I have structure A, structure B and structure C. So, if you want to determine which one is the most plausible structure, all atoms must have zero formal charge. So, in this case, the most plausible structure is A. Okay, why? Because all atoms in A have zero formal charges. Okay, next example is azide ion. So, N3 minus, we call it as azide ion. So, I already draw the Lewis structures for azide ion. And then I already calculate the formal charges. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to look at molecule that has lots of zero formal charge. Okay, so for structure 1, we have zero formal charge. Okay, structure 2, there is no zero formal charge. And then structure 3. Okay, structure 3 also have zero formal charge. However, if you look closely, structure 1 and structure 3, actually they are similar in terms of distribution of formal charges. Why? For structure number 1, N has negative 2. Same goes to structure number 3. N has negative 2. And in the middle, the N is positive 1. Here, N is also positive 1. And then N with zero formal charge, N with zero formal charge. Most plausible structure is only one structure. So, it cannot be 1, it cannot be 3. Because in terms of distribution formal charges, 1 and 3 are similar. Okay, so the answer is structure number 2. Why structure number 2 is the most plausible structure? Because in structure number 2, it has small formal charges at nitrogen atoms. Okay, because structure number 2 doesn't have negative 2. Okay, so that's why we choose structure number 2. So bear in mind, most plausible structure is only one structure. So structure number 2 exists dominant compared to other structures. Okay, so structure number 2 tu mungkin diwujud 80%. Yang ni wujud 10%, yang ni hanya wujud 10%. So itu maksud most plausible structure. Structure yang paling banyak wujud. Okay. Okay. Next one. Okay, so negative formal charges at the most electronegative atom. So I already draw the Lewis structure and I already calculate formal charges. So first you need to look at atom with zero formal charge. So structure A, 2 atoms with zero formal charge. Okay, we want to consider that one. So structure B, 2 atoms with zero formal charge. So structure C only has 1 atom. So I don't want to consider this one. So between A and B, there are 2 atoms in the molecule have zero formal charges. Okay, so which one is the most plausible structure? So we need to look at this one. So right now, S has formal charge -1, N has formal charge -1. So between sulfur and nitrogen atom, which one is more happy to have negative charge? Okay, negative formal charge. The one that will be so happy to have negative formal charge is highly electronegative atom. The most electronegative atom in periodic table is F. Okay, next to F is N. After N is Cl. After Cl is O. Okay, so F is the most highly electronegative atom. Okay, so this is number 1. So number 2 is N. Number 3 is Cl. Number 4 is oxygen. Okay, so between N and sulfur, which one is more happy to have negative formal charge? N, because N is highly electronegative compared to sulfur. So the most plausible structure is B, because negative formal charges is on highly electronegative atom, which is N. So N lagi happy lah dapat negative formal charge. Okay, so another example. Okay, NCO minus. So I already draw the Lewis structure along with formal charges. So you need to find a molecule with more zero formal charge. Okay, so this one we have 2, this one we have 2 atom with zero formal charge. So we don't want to consider this one as the most plausible. So between structure 2 and structure 3, so at structure 2 N negative formal charge, structure 3 O negative formal charge. Between O and F, which one is more happier to have negative formal charge? O, because O is more electronegative compared to N. Okay, so the answer is structure number 3 is the most plausible structure because negative formal charge is on highly electronegative atom, which is oxygen.